So this is my introduction for my report for task 2 of my FMP. So first of all, me and Emily started deciding team names as part of our research, as I thought that was like quite an important factor, especially seeing as that's what we're going to be known as and recognised as. So eventually we chose the name Iridescent Studios, as we thought this kind of reflected that we wanted like various colours in it and to be kind of original and different as to what you usually see. We were also deciding on what job roles that I would do. So I am half producer, Emily's also half, and then my other job roles consisted of being the PR and also the editor. So obviously, as part of my job role, I've researched into what pre-production documents I will be doing in the next task, and what documents of these are my responsibility. For example, because I'm PR, I need to be making any social media accounts and stuff like this to promote me and Emily and promote the music video that we are going to be making. I also, as editor, have got a few things to do and maybe looking at the storyboard as well. And then as I'm half of the producer, I could maybe be looking at the budget and things like this. So I've been doing different types of research, such as primary and secondary research, and also been doing a little bit of production research along the way too. So I really feel that the research that I've done has helped a lot, and it's really helped us to prepare for what's to come when we actually start to make our video, and also the pre-production elements that go alongside it. And some of the research that I have done on production, it's really given me more knowledge on editing, so I think that's a positive. So for my primary research, I started off by making a mood board using Padlet. On my mood board, I gathered various images of different locations that we're hoping to film at, such as Camden, Brick Lane, Shoreditch, and also God's Own Junkyard, which is a neon place in Walthamstow. So I gathered all of these different pictures and laid them out in a nice and kind of like creative way on Padlet, stating where they were as well. I also found a few videos on YouTube of like places to go in them areas and what to see and stuff like this, so that I had 2 different types of like things from them places. I also looked at different colours on that same mood board, and I also looked at various songs that we like. We're not too sure what song we're going to go for at the moment, which is why we've been doing research on what songs we think would fit with the music video that we're kind of looking to do. So I think we'd be looking mostly at like maybe rock or indie songs, whereas we wouldn't be looking at rap or like pop songs, as that's just not the genre of stuff that we really like. And we wouldn't really be able to like portray that in the best light because we don't really listen to that type of music. With the colours, I wanted to keep it super vibrant and show that we just want like really nice bright colours to make it lively and fun and upbeat, so that's what I tried to do with the colours too. So I then decided to make a short edit of test footage that we'd gathered during the half term, and I looked up a few links that I could use to help me create a VHR kind of retro effect onto the footage that I'd edited together, as we think that is something that we'd like to move forward with and try out in our actual production, as we think it kind of gives like a sense of like originality, as I haven't really seen many other music videos that use it. And also I really want to, as I'm the editor, I want to try new things and do stuff I haven't really done before, and I've never really been able to get that creative with editing like this, in this way. However, in my last project I did do a music video and I ended up editing quite a lot of it, and I learned how to add animation to it a bit, to make that kind of pop and be like kind of cartoony. which is something that we'd also maybe look at in our FMP, and maybe if like the actors like walking down a cobble kind of pathway, like each time they step on a cobble it changes to a different colour. Stuff like this is things that we've seen in other music videos that I like the look of, and that I think would be nice to have in our music video. So when I was editing the VHR effect into the test footage that I'd created, I came across a bit of an issue at first where it wasn't showing the whole picture, the whole frame. It was kind of zooming into it for some reason. So I asked a few people in my class first, and they weren't too sure why, but they suggested just like getting rid of it and starting over, which is what I ended up doing. So I started again and put all the videos on and edited it again, and then tried to do the VHR effect on, and it worked that time. Then unfortunately somebody unplugged one of the plugs to the computer, and my computer turned off, so I had to do it again. So third time round I managed to create the effect that I was looking for, but I then had the issue that it wasn't doing it for the whole entire footage that I'd made, and only for the first clip, which I'm not sure why. I asked one of the teachers and he wasn't sure why, and he didn't know how to fix it. So this is something that I'm going to have to look into again before I come to edit the final piece. I also gathered a couple of screenshots of photos that we did when we were doing our test footage out in London, as it really showed the colours and vibrancy that we really want to go for, and so I wanted to point that out and make that clear. We also watched a Sony Bravia advert, which is for a Sony TV, as it was again the colours and the focus on what was going on. It didn't really use people, which is something that we're not really hoping to do. It was balls being thrown down a massive hill, and all colourful balls, and it was really nice, and it really showed the crispness and the clarity and the vibrancy of the colours, and that's something that we're looking to hopefully do too. So I did a few notes on that advert, and I've put them on there too. I've also done a couple of one-to-one interviews about songs that we're hoping to do, and what preference of songs there are to our audience, and also about our idea, as we've not got a clear idea of what we're going to do at the moment. We've got various different ideas all kind of mashed together, so hopefully we'll be able to come up with one solid idea soon, which is something that we need to put more research into really to be able to do that. So for secondary research, I decided to do some research on social media. So I went on Instagram and started typing in different vintage accounts. As when we went and did our test footage, we went to various vintage shops and thought that would be a really cool place to be able to film. As again, it was all super different and retro, which is the kind of look that we're going for with our video. So I looked at different Instagram accounts, as I'm also PR. This is something that's going to come in handy when I come to do that job role. And I really like the different colours and styles that they put on, different patterns and textures. I thought that was really interesting, and something that if I do create an Instagram account for our production team, it would be something that I would be looking into, to make it pop and stand out from the crowd, and then that way you're going to get feedback on it that way through Instagram. I'm not sure that I would make a Facebook account, as I didn't really see many accounts similar to this on there, so yeah. So I then moved on to my production research, which was looking into what I would be actually doing in my production role and how I'm going to do that. So for that, again, I looked at social media research, as my job role is PR, like I've already said, and I did a bit of research on social media and why production companies choose to use social media, as it's rapidly grown into something that all production companies and other companies as well, and businesses tend to use to promote their companies, and I feel like it's something that we definitely need to do to be able to fit in with that margin. So I tried to research what different social medias are most popular and what people use the most, and try and keep updated on them things. I also did a bit of costume research, as one of our ideas is to have somebody dressed in like 80s vibrant retro clothes. So I wanted to have a look at like different materials and like outfits and what was like popular in them days. So I did a bit of costume research on that. I also yesterday did some budget research, and I was looking at the higher costs of different equipment. As I'm half the producer, I'm going to have to know roughly what costs would be in the real world if I was trying to do this. Obviously we have the benefit of being able to use equipment at college, which is great, but if I didn't have that benefit, I would have to look at higher costs and how I would lay out my budget to the producer and to the director, so they would know how much money to give me to be able to do it. So I looked at the different higher costs and adding VAT to it, and also if there's a damage waiver, to add that on top, and also then how I would lay it out if I was going to present it to a production team. I've also done some location research on the different places that we want to go and film at, and this was presented on my mood board, which I've said already. So that's what I did for my production research. So in conclusion, I've learned how to do a VHR effect on my own without much help, which I was quite proud of because I'm not that confident on Premiere Pro, but I know I need to start learning how to do other stuff other than just cutting and pasting and putting clips together. So I'm happy with how that turned out and how the effect worked, and the video that I used to watch it was very helpful as well, so that's very good. I also now know about equipment hire costs if I was going to go about it that way and hire out my own equipment elsewhere. And I also know how to lay out a budget if it came to. I know about possible costumes that we could look at and why and what eras they are from, how Instagram accounts are laid out and how they are presented to the audience, and why the audience may want to go on their Instagram accounts and research different things and then possibly buy stuff from them shops, is something that I found really useful. And as to knowing what kind of social media accounts are most popular, and also looking at possible song choices, I found it really helpful, as it's really given me an insight into my audience and what they're looking to listen to, what they typically listen to if they're looking at YouTube videos and music videos, when a new music video comes out, what they're expecting to see and what they hope to see, and then also what they're disappointed about in music videos that they've looked at too. So I'm really happy with how my research has gone so far. However, I know there's a few things that I need to add to it to make it more substantial, especially maybe in the secondary research. I could add a few things to make that have more substance to it. But I'm happy with how my primary research has gone. Maybe I could do a survey and do that way, that would be good. So this is something that I'm going to take into account and do if I now have the chance to do it. So thank you.